What's going on, Okinawa Vapors? Do I got something cool to show you? The Profile. This thing is pretty awesome. It's the first mesh RDA I've ever liked. So let's have a vape. We'll go down, we'll take a look. Alright folks, so here we have the Profile from WOTOFO and Mr. Just Right One. The cool thing about this mesh RDA is this spring loaded piece of Delrin right here underneath where the cotton's gonna go, because it's gonna push the cotton up into the mesh. A lot of the older style mesh RDAs didn't have this, and it was real hard to wick it right, and you get a lot of hot spots. So instead of doing a full-blown review, we're gonna do a little bit of a review. I'll tell you about it. Then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give you a little bit of how I wick mine for best results. The Profile. It's 24 millimeters in diameter. It's got that clamp system, and it doubles as a build deck because it does come with two smaller Clapton coils that can go in there. I found that you can't really use big honking coils in this if you are going to use a coil and not the mesh, because what happens is that the screw only goes in so far, and if you have a big piece of what is it called, like Alien or Clapton, what'll happen is you can barely get that screw to start twisting in, and then you'll get atomizer short all the time. So juice well is 4 millimeters, and again that piece of Delrin right in there is spring loaded. The squonk pin is in the center right there, and on the bottom it has a 24 karat gold plated squonk pin. It does come with the other pin in the box, and I'll show you in a second, in case you don't want to use it as a squonker, but I feel that the way it utilizes the juice, that it's better on a squonk mod. So inside the box, it comes with the base section, comes with an extra drip tip, all the goodies are underneath. Comes with one of those big giant shoestring cottons. It comes with a frame staple Clapton. Comes with 2 pieces of mesh. And I've used both of mine already, and the mesh that they provide, for some reason, it gets a lot of hot spots for some reason, and I prefer using the Vandy Vape mesh. This works a little bit better, and you just cut it to size, and I'll show you. I already have a piece cut for when I do my build. Comes with that extra squonk pin, extra O-rings, a spring for the for underneath that Delrin piece, and 2 more grub screws. And then it comes with a bar to bend your mesh around to get it that nice conical shape, and a Phillips head screwdriver, and then also a Allen wrench to take out the 510 pin. So that's everything that comes in the box. Oh, and your literature. Now the thing with the Profile, it doesn't get as hot as like a normal RDA would with the mesh, but the flavor is on point because the vapor is so dense because of the way this, sorry, let's see if I can get it. This is the mesh. See how much surface area that provides? So when that's touching the cotton and it's fully wicked up, this thing puts off some flavor. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this put in there. So I already cut it to size. Let me adjust this a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Basically, you're going to put one side in. Okay, so you're going to put the one side in like that. And you'll bend it over. I'll do is I'll take a coil jig or that tool they provide, and I'll try to get it nice and rounded and even inside, so it looks something similar to this. Then you go ahead and you make sure all these screws are nice and tight. And I have that at 47 watts to start off with, and you just start pulsing it. Once you can see that there's no hot spots, then we can go ahead and prepare the cotton. So I just use a full sheet of the Japanese organic, and I peel the top 2 layers out, and then I give it a little tug on each side to kind of get it thin, and then we're just going to Scottish roll this bad boy. I'll give one side a pinch so I can get it started. You just kind of push that Delrin down, give it a tug. That's what it should look like, something just like that. See how it's nice and tight in there against the mesh? And we'll go back and we'll clean it up. So with these, I like to cut it on a little bit of an angle. That way when you push it down, the outside's got a little bit more length than the bottom, because it does take up a lot of that juice well. Then I'll grab some juice. I've been using this Mr. Meringue, it's pretty good stuff. Once you have it all nice and saturated, just going to go ahead and take that coil jig. We'll start tucking it in there nice and even. Give it a test, and oh, look at that. So we'll apply a little bit more wattage. I usually run mine between like 60, oh, too much. Between 65 and 70. Pop that until it locks. And usually I close off about half the air holes. And it's ready to go back up, and let's have a vape. And we're back. So the profile from WOTOFO. This thing is alright. The clamp style deck works good for mesh. It don't work so good for coils unless they're got really skinny legs on them. But then again, that's not where you're getting it, right? You're getting it because you want to put that mesh build in there. The spring design that keeps that cotton in place is right on. I haven't had, like, unless the coil has had a hot spot in it, I haven't had a dry hit yet off of it. There's so much cotton underneath that mesh. It's ridiculous. And the way it squonks from the center directly up into the cotton, it just works well. And the airflow on this is second to none. I like that honeycomb design for some reason. It just seems to be smoother than like big gaping holes or, you know, the other way that some of the other RDAs do it. But I cranked this thing about halfway down, and the flavor is just right on. It's so sweet. Alright, Okinawa Vapors, if you like what you saw, come on down and check it out for yourself. Till next time.